Halito Sahochafa Virginia Chojini MOWA Choctaw Sia. So my name is Virginia or Ginny. I'm MOWA Choctaw. I'm a former student of Mr. Tom Colvin Iksho, who passed away last year, and he was teaching me and Sierra Bayulacombe style basketry. And today is his birthday, and we are at the Basketry Summit. So it's kind of a weird coalescence of timelines, but a few years ago, and you probably can't see it because it's a phone picture, I was working on this weave with, let me see if I can increase the, oops, that's not that volume, the light volume. Working on this pattern, and Sierra was also working on it, and I'm pointing out one of my mistakes in there. That's what my finger is doing. And we have very different ways of conceptualizing things in time and space. And so she was explaining to me how she saw it, and I was like, that makes no sense to me whatsoever. I have no idea what you just said. But what I conceptualize it as is kind of like music. So I'm like mildly synesthetic, which means that, like, for me, music has color and texture and things like that. Like, it's more of a visceral experience for me. And also when I'm weaving, I don't see details, I think, the way other people see them. I think I see a big picture, but when I'm actually moving my fingers through it, that's when I'm picking up the pattern. And so I was like, for me, moving my fingers through it, it's like a rhythm or a tune. And so in my head, it makes more sense kind of like a musical piece. And I do not know anything about music. I had 1 year of band in public school in 6th grade, but that idea stuck with me, and I was like, I'm gonna do something. That was 3 years ago. And I talked to people about it, and I talked to music people about it, and they were like, oh, that's cool, you're gonna do this or that. And I was like, I don't know what that means. And so I started looking for, like, how can I translate what makes sense in my head to, like, this other system that I'm not familiar with. And so I'm translating, I guess, to, like, Western music right now, but you know, it's like translating something from log 7 to, like, log 13, you know? So yeah, so I've kind of, like, thought about it. I looked for devices that would maybe be, like, more hands-on, because I didn't want to just be stuck on my computer. The thought was, like, maybe if I have, like, a cylinder, and you know, like the old school music boxes. So if the pattern was printed on the cylinder and it rolled, like, as the pattern rolled, it would hit the different notes. So I found something kind of like that online, but it wasn't big enough for what I needed. It was just one of those things I kept putting off because I'm like a perfectionist, and I was like, no, it has to be perfect. And I was talking to people last night and finally told them my idea, because I'm like, you know, I'm struggling to execute it. I kind of know what I want to do, but I don't know exactly how I want to execute it. And they were like, oh, that sounds great, why don't you just do it? So I just started working on it yesterday, and downloaded, I don't know, some program, whatever. It didn't download it, it's on the cloud. And again, I don't have a musical background. I don't really know what I'm doing, but I'm playing around with it, and I'm basically, this is Mr. Tom Iksho's egg basket, and I'm taking it and I'm reading it as music from the bottom rows to the top, which is not how we make our baskets. Like, this is just a preliminary thing. Like, we don't start here at the bottom and then go up, right?
Can you show that one more time?
What's
the bot? What are you talking about?
Like, okay. These. Okay. So this is like a line of music, and this is a line, like, all of these rows going up. So I'm just starting it out that way to try to figure out what the heck I'm doing. Eventually I'd like to experiment a little bit more, but each of those rows, or the row is like a line of music, and then the tempo is each column. And so I'm translating the over and unders to notes. And these are not actual notes. These are just things that I press on my keyboard to make the note.
Can you say what you just said again in a different way?
I don't know. I don't know. I can kind of.
Could you show us?
Yeah, let me play. So this is my second attempt, and actually, yeah, this is my second attempt. So I took 3 takes to get 1 row of this basket, and it's flute music, so it's like really high pitched. Because again, I'm just figuring this out as I go. But this is what 1 row sounds like of that egg basket. Oh, oops, see. Move, come back here. You gotta move this little guy up here. Let me turn it up a little bit. I didn't want to blow your speakers out.
Where's your aux in?
The blank spaces are underweaves, and the notes that you hear are the overweaves. And so there's a lot of blank space because there's a lot of underweaves in this pattern the way I'm reading it.
Could you play it one more time with the speakers super loud?
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to blow people's ears out, but
sorry, Basket Summit.
All right.
It's cool, man.
Thanks. So yeah, it'll likely change. This is just a preliminary figuring out how do I get this idea that doesn't translate one-to-one out there into the world. And then I've got some ideas for expanding on this, for different interpretations, different ways of doing this, especially so that for like the patterns with a lot of underweaves, there's not so much blank space. Can it be more like a musical piece, like the way we think about it, without compromising the pattern of the basket? Or could this be like an audio guide to what a basket would sound like if you don't know what if you can't see a basket? I already, as I'm doing this, I'm like, I have so many different ways that I could execute it, and maybe that's not the right way. Maybe what you just heard isn't the way I'm gonna do it a year from now. But yeah, just playing around with it and trying to figure it out.
How do you feel about it now?
I did the first line that I did. This is my second attempt, and that one didn't take me as long. I have to sketch things out, and then I'm not playing A, B, C, D like musical notes. I'm playing it on my keyboard, so I have to translate that to what buttons I'm pressing. So all of that, it took me an hour just to record correctly the first attempt, and then I found a mistake in it, kind of like finding a basket mistake after you've woven it and you're like, God dang it. So since it was my very first line, I've just started over. I've just started over, and so that took me a few minutes, but there was a lot of legwork here on trying to figure out what instrument I'm going to use that's not going to sound horrible, and how to, you know, when I run out of like notes on C5, how many octaves can I go up, all of that stuff. So what was your original question?
It's the way you're describing it, it sounds like the complexity of beginning a basket.
Yeah, maybe, like, because I'm kind of at the beginning of like, this is supposed to be a thing, and there's a pattern in it, but, and I guess the difference is there's multiple ways of potentially expressing the pattern. Like, I'm reading a pattern that's already here, but because it's a reading system that hasn't been used before, like, there's multiple ways of reading it. So what is the best way to read it? What is the most accurate way? You know, like the way I'm reading it right now is bottom up, but that's not how we start weaving. We don't start on one corner and then build the rest of the basket. We don't, you know, work in that, you know, left to right, top to bottom. It's, you kind of start more in the middle and you build out, and there's curves in that. So there's, I don't know, there's a lot to figure out, but I'm excited. And the cool thing that I think really encouraged me is when I finally like shared my idea out in the open yesterday, after thinking about it for so long, one of my elders, Miss Margot Rosas, was like, yeah, you should do that. That sounds really cool. And y'all saw Miss Janie walk by and she saw the sign out. Like, I'm seeing elders get super excited about this, and that feels really, really cool to me, and I think it's motivating me to try to figure this out and see what this art form takes on. I thought people would maybe be resistant to it because they would, like, you know, it's not traditional, and I'm using, you know, like a flute right now, but maybe there are other ways to do that in the future. So, yeah. Kakuki.
Yeah.